So in this video, I'd like to test if barrel length has an effect on accuracy and damage. And for this test, I prepared an AK-74, an AK-74U, which is the shorter weapon, and an RPK-74. And I loaded all of them with the magazines that only have the same type of ammo, because the normal default loadout is one where every third round is a tracer. So let's start with the short AK. It's ranged to 300 meters. And I'm going to shoot at this target. And for the aim point, I'm going to aim at where the concrete ends and where the grass begins from this view. But those were 3 shots without readjusting the aim. I'm going to switch over to the full-size AK. Range it to 300 meters. Aim for where the concrete ends. And now for the full-size RPK. Okay, now let's look at the accuracy. Okay, so on the left we got the shot, the full size, and the RPK. Now here's what's odd. Notice here, I fired 1 shot, and the second shot after the weapon recentered itself. And oh wait, it's down here. Means, and that's suspicion I had for some time. When you shoot a short AK with a 300 meter ranging setting, it always shoots short. Now my suspicion is, now I could be wrong, but my suspicion is developers just copied the ranging settings from the game code from the full-sized AK to the AK-74U. But the muzzle velocity is low, so the game correctly appears to calculate the muzzle velocity, but the ranging is still wrong. Unless there's another explanation for it, but I think that's the cause for it. Because the first shot went here, and then I fired the second shot the moment the gun recentered itself from bouncing up. Okay, first shot here, second shot, third shot, okay. Then we got the full-size AK. Now you see here, that's approximately what I was aiming at, because you see here the concrete from the shooter's perspective, where the concrete ends is approximately up here. See, it hits where it's supposed to hit. And see, 1 shot here, 1 shot here, and 1 shot went up. And for the RPK, now the ranging error could be just my mouse, because at that distance with the mouse, you're aiming it at pixels. Okay, so now if you look at what happens behind the target, you see here the lower muzzle velocity immediately after hitting through that thin, I think it's some type of really thin wooden plywood, I guess. Immediately loses a lot of velocity and immediately falls to the ground after that, and then keeps bouncing a few times. Okay. Then the AK-74, the full size, more muzzle velocity, which means it conserves more energy after going through something, which is realistically modeled. You see here, it flies further, bounces up to here. And the RPK-74 with a longer barrel, you see how much it retains. You can even tell that the color is less red than that, because in the ballistic simulation, bright green is basically muzzle velocity, and deep red is near end of close to 0. You can tell here, it's even when it arrives at the target, that's probably a bit hard to see, but I'm going to change the daytime. I can see it better at night. You can see it. When the bullet arrives, it's still a relatively bright green. But here it looks already a bit more yellowish. Then after impact, immediately red. Whereas on the RPK, I guess it's probably the same red, but wait a minute. This one went up here into the edge. See how far this one flies. Up here. Now, at the beginning of the video, actually, I'll do it again. I'll go back to the beginning. I'm going to remove the trajectories. Go back to the character. Now, when you're shooting with the RPK, you see how little the gun bounces up. Now if we go take an AK-74 full size, see, there's already more considerable kick on the weapon. And let me take the shot AK. But this can tell you something about the dispersion of the guns. You can see it's pretty similar. Like you can tell here, it's the RPK full size, and like the interesting thing here is at really far distances, like 500-600 meters. At this distance, you probably need a scope to see even something. The RPK 74 really is a better weapon. But at shorter distance, like say up to 200 meters, I think you can actually do as well with the short AK as you can with the full-size AK in terms of accuracy on shooting at the target. Let's test that for a moment. Okay, I got the short AK. But its closest target is about 50 meters. I'm going to aim close to it and just shoot a magazine trying to keep the elevation on. Okay, I'm going back to the full-size AK. Again, full auto, trying to aim at the chest height of the target. Okay, that's unsupported shooting, obviously. Now I'm going to the RPK. See, the bullets are still flying. Okay, and again, same animation, full auto. Okay, let's look at that distance, what's happening. You can tell here the RPK is the one that is able to keep a lower vertical spread. That's completely unsupported shooting. But AK-74 has a bit more issues. And the full auto AK, the short AK really has a problem with keeping it vertically still. But the thing is, if you're shooting at 50 meters, it really doesn't matter that much. And you got the advantage of a lighter weapon. And I think you also tire out less holding it upright. And it's basically more compact too. So let's say if you're in combat at 100 meters, sometimes an AK-74U might be enough. You don't have to use a full-size AK. And about weapon damage. Now, I'm not going to test it in a video because it can take a long time to hit at 300 meters, hit the exact point on the target where you want to hit. It would take me a long time to test it. So I just tell you the results of it. At 300 meters, if you hit an American soldier in the chest with the regular standard Rifleman West, it does about 10 damage at 300 meters with an AK-74U. With an full-size AK, it's about 14 to 16 damage points, and with an RPK, it's about 22.